Hello, I'm with Michael from a company called Tag2, which is a startup. So he's a startup entrepreneur within the travel industry, innovating it for the better. So can you tell me a little bit more about what Tag2 actually does and why it is so innovative?
So hi, my name is Michael. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tag2, and we're focusing basically on value-based travel. What that means is, what we're trying to do is like telling people or like helping people to see the purpose in their trip and take this as the main decision-making factor of whether to go on a trip or not. And if people go on a trip and decide to go on a trip, we help them actually increasing the value of that trip. As an example, you go to Copenhagen, you want to meet people here, we'd also help you and telling you like who else you know in Copenhagen, who you could potentially meet, right? So yeah, that's what we're doing. They're okay. Another thing like we focus on is like user centricity, because when we founded Tag2, what we were all like a kind of like unpleased travelers, because we always thought that the technology that was out there didn't really talk to us and address our problems. So I heard a few times, also like today on stage, I think Richard Thompson made that point, right, on focusing more on the end user. And that's like one point that of course like we're passionate about and like we're interested in.
So with traveller centricity, putting the traveller at the forefront, putting their wants and needs, in my mind, is very much tied back to personalisation, which has been a huge trend here. And within customer service and customer experience, where I think that your company comes in is user experience, because obviously you're a tech company. So with that in mind, how do you think your company puts together sustainability and that user experience together?
When we talk about sustainability, it's a word, right? It's like it is a word that everybody uses, specifically in the industry, but I haven't really seen a translation, an emotional translation. Like for example, if somebody talks to me about sustainability and they show me a few kilotons of whatever CO2 I use, or like whatever carbon I use, it doesn't really pick me up as on the receiving. I would say it's like we haven't really managed to put it together, because I haven't really seen a way where we pick up people emotionally. It's like where we manage to intrinsically motivate individuals, like the user or the customer, to wanting to be better, to improving themselves. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen a lot of gamification ideas and ideas of like showing me how many kilograms of like carbon I use. Yes, to travel less and to use less carbon, exactly. It's like to be more aware of it.
But then again, I have to say, the CSRD approach everyone's going to be using next year, there's more to it than that. It's wellness, it's making sure that you're traveling for a purpose. And I would say, personally, I've seen your product, that actually gives the value of traveling for a purpose.
I was heading that way as being the solution. But yeah, no, as of yet, I need to see a solution, and we're working on a solution actually. It's like to address the end users in a way so that they understand, intrinsically motivated, to be better, to see their own advantages, right? It's like, that's it. So like, I have not seen it yet, but I'm expecting it next year, definitely. As one of the hopefully many tools, because we should work on the same course, right? It's like, that's it. It's like, but yeah, hopefully the best, but I'm sure there are other players in the market. I'm rooting for them as well.
It's been really lovely meeting you in person, because we've only actually met
3 times.
3 times on video.
Yes.
But it's been really great. I've really appreciated it. I loved it.
Same goes back to you, and I hope it was not the last meeting.
It won't be the last meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.
So today I have Dan Rain with me. Dan, where do you work? What is your role?
I am founder, CEO of Unlock Data, which interestingly is a company that you helped me name 6 years ago in Washington.
How did I help you name it?
You and I sat at a table in that ladders thing, and I was kind of coming up with different names, and you were kind of coming up with names. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's Unlock Data was born conceptually, and we are based in London. We've got a team in the UK and the US, but we help corporations manage their data consolidate data from all different sources so that travel managers have a total view of what they spend on travel. But most importantly, how do they use that data within their business, to their leaders, to their managers, and to travellers to help them make good decisions about their travel.
Well, that sounds excellent. So, what have you liked about the GBTA conference? How do you think it's been helping you? How do you feel that you've been helping people you've been talking to?
I think one thing for me is I'm always looking for ideas, with a magpie when it comes to those kind of things. So I found a few nuggets which I kind of liked. From a sustainability perspective, I came across Tim, which is a Google-backed carbon calculator, which is open source, which I always love as well. So we're going to look at implementing that pretty quickly. And I think from these kind of events, it's all around meeting people. It takes a long time, but these things don't happen overnight. So it's all about building that foundations of a good relationship, being trusted, and people get what you're about, and you get that kind of that happens over lots and lots of contacts, not just kind of an intense buying period. And I think particularly as a tech company and a younger tech company, there's different risk appetites. So the more we're here, keep presenting at different shows, it kind of builds that kind of trustedness as well, sort of subconsciously. One of our big focuses is how do we help individuals be accountable for their own sustainability impact. It's very hard for travel managers here to do anything realistically to reduce the environmental impact of travel. And I think the importance of personalisation is giving the right information at the right time to the right people.
And the right channel.
Yeah, in a way that they want to and will receive it, in a way that will help them make those best decisions. So for me, that's that kind of level of transcending the travel buyer and equipping them with some clever tools that actually get that personal data into the hands of their business, not just kind of stuck in their own expertise.
So what about traveller service? Do you think that the data here will also help with the airlines as well, their suppliers, as well as the actual corporations?
I think the bigger and broader that data, the more that's accessible through different channels, I think it enables that personalisation to happen.
Yes.
The more data is stored in single places, the harder that is. And I think a shift happening, whether we like it or not, is that data is getting broadcast much more and shared around all of our different purchasing decisions, leaves that data trail. And I think we've been talking about that a bit as well, the kind of governance around some of the thinking about that in terms of the loss of control of your personal data. You can enjoy some of the benefits of that in terms of that personalisation of service and content and experience.
Yeah, so it's the trade-off.
It is a trade-off, yeah, but it's just fine as long as you know you're making the trade-off.
And it's fine as long as you know what benefits you're going to get from it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think what you don't want to be is being duped by things, or not realising that I filled out this survey and it's ended up here, or that's the kind of uncomfortable feeling. And also you want the ability to be able to change things and not feel powerless against the machine, or to make sure that you can delete some of your trail somewhere.
Yeah, or update, or modify, or act.
Yeah, or have some kind of control. Yeah. We were learning in the previous session, and I've just bought the book actually she recommended, just about how AI being so expensive is increasingly getting into that being controlled by a smaller number of organisations with the enormous data facilities and hand in hand enormous investments in AI. I was reading something the other day from a professor at UC Berkeley who said that the amount being spent on AI today, investment in AI today, is more than the investment in all other technology put together.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure, always.
I hope you enjoyed it too, and I hope to speak to you with another one of my good friends in the travel industry again soon.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Hamilton, as you all know from Transcom, and I am now going to be interviewing Jason Dunderdale. Jason, would you like to introduce your company and just tell everyone what you do and what does Black Plane do for people that don't know Black Plane?
Okay, well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. So Black Plane, we are a chauffeur services company. So we operate in 50 plus countries across the globe, and we essentially connect corporate travellers with vetted and high quality chauffeur services pretty much anywhere where they want to travel.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I wouldn't mind being in the back of a chauffeur-driven limousine. So I was just wondering, how long have you been with the company, and why is chauffeur service something that you find interesting and you're passionate about?
So I've been with the company now for just over 2 years. I've been within ground transport probably since 2017. So I kind of feel like I'm carving a bit of a niche within the market, but not particularly by design. The reason I with Blacklane is it's just a huge opportunity. Ground transportation is such an underrepresented category within travel, not just business travel, but all types of travel, because it's a very fragmented element of travel. So for me, Blacklane represents a huge opportunity because we are able to be that one place where pretty much you can get to anywhere you need to be within the back of a chauffeur vehicle. And right now, there isn't that many people out there that are really leading the market with it. So it's a massive opportunity for Blacklane to really push forward.
That's wonderful. So what trends do you see coming up in 2025 within ground transport?
I mean, trends, sustainability continues to be big. And we're pushing on our sustainable travel as much as we can. So this year in the UK, 22% of our rides will be completed in an EV. And for next year, we're on target to complete 50% of our rides in the UK in EVs.
EV chauffeur driven.
EV chauffeur driven.
Very long, the long cars.
Well, the Mercedes EQS is our main vehicle that we're using. Yeah, we obviously want to use Mercedes where possible, and they offer a fantastic product as well.
I do like those.
So sustainability is definitely one of them, and then wellness and duty of care is something that's now starting to come back in. Duty of care has always been really important, as we know, but wellness and making sure that people are productive in their travel is also really important. So we've just done a recent travel survey, and we've basically seen that 87% of people are saying that they're losing at least an hour, if not more, of productivity in a day. And out of that 87%, a third of those are saying they're missing nearly a whole day's worth of productivity. They add all of that up, not only is it disruptive for the traveller, but it's also disruptive for the business that's sending them to travel for business.
That's true. So how do you feel about the exhibition that we've been at today? Have you seen any talks about sustainability that you're interested in? And have you seen or thought about how customer service and customer experience is important for your travellers?
In terms of customer service, going back to the well-being and guests not losing that productive time whilst they're travelling, customer service is equally as important. What we don't want is our bookers who are booking for our guests to equally have a poor experience. So ensuring that we are offering that seamless end-to-end experience where you can book a Blacklane and forget about it. And you know what? The car's going to show. The guest is going to have a fantastic time in the back of a lovely Mercedes EQS, and they're going to have that seamless, productive time with their travel. It just makes it really nice and easy for them. Personalisation is something, as you said, it's now a trend that's really starting to come through, and I think the use of technology, specifically, the potential use of AI to help do that is going to be something that goes forward. The vehicles that we have, I know that there are some providers out there that allow you to have your own playlist in the vehicle as you're traveling along. But what we do is we really focus on that in-car experience. All of our chauffeurs are trained to make sure that they ask, do you want to have conversation? Do you want to have, what's the temperature like? Is it okay for you? A lot of the time our travelers just want to have that peace of mind and just sit back and relax. And sometimes having that 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever your journey is, of calm, peace and quiet, it makes such a difference.
So would you say that would you say the drivers or the agents are equally as important as each other within customer service, or do you think one is more important?
The primary importance, of course, goes on the guest, because with ground transportation, it feels like maybe it's been a bit commoditized in the past. It's about how can I get from A to B as quickly and as cheaply as I can. Actually, it's not always about that. When you get there is just as important as how you get there. And what we do find with ground transportation specifically as a category, it's one that can make or break a journey.
Thank you so much for your time,
You're welcome.
Jason. That's
Thank
been
you very much.
fantastic. Oh,
Thank you.
lovely. Hope you enjoyed that.